So I just read that there will be new guidelines in the movie industry in Hollywood that will limit private auditions in hotels and private homes, which I didn't even know happens, to kind of limit the potential for predators to entrap women or men, but to be real, 99.9% it's men. Men abusing women and not the other way around. And I don't know the statistics, so let's not focus on that. So yeah, oh, of course, of course, it's not really gonna solve much, but it's a good step forward. And to me, it's the whole Me Too movement. It's not about these guidelines that may or may not work. It's about the woman being heard finally, because before, by default, and if you read everything that led up to Harvey Weinstein and how it happened, literally dozens and dozens of women went to the police. Dozens and dozens of women tried to speak up, and they were silenced. Their careers were stopped or put on hold or slowed down, and it was almost impossible to be heard after the abuse. Because one of the things that a lot of people say is like, oh, just report it. Well, they were reporting it. Read about it. A lot of people were reporting it, and literally there is one example of a model who went to the police. The police asked the model to go back to Harvey Weinstein, bring a recording of him trying to assault her back to the police. And imagine, it's already traumatizing. If you ever went through this, it's already traumatizing, and being asked to go back to the person who's trying to abuse you, it is super hard. But she did it. She had a recording. She went to the police, and guess what? The police, I don't know the details how it happened, but at the end, even though we can hear the recording now, it's available. At the end, the police asked her to write a statement that this never happened. And it's so ridiculous and mind-blowing. And also, it explains, because women know this. Like, I didn't know the extent of this particular example, but women know this. We know this, that nothing happens. We know we cannot report it. We know if we report, we're questioned, we are blamed. It's just, we know how bad it is. And I think men don't fully know, and one of the reasons maybe we didn't tell them enough, and now we're starting to speak up, and they hear all of this and they're like, what is going on? But women are like, yeah, that's kind of the reality of it. But anyway, going back to my main point, and reading about this new guidelines, it's like the whole Me Too movement, why it's useful, it's no more, I think no more the woman will be as afraid as she was to report things. I think it's much easier to speak up now. Much, much, much easier. It's now if someone will go to the media, they will be listened. And again, of course, I'm not saying that it will solve a lot. No, I'm not saying it will solve everything, but it will solve a lot. Now it's so much easier, even between us women. We kind of talked about it. We always talked about it. Oh yeah, this guy did this guy did that, like whatever. Or in very general terms, or if someone mentions sexual assault, others are like, yep. You know, it was kind of like an understanding, and we did share certain things, but we never discussed them fully. It was kind of an ambiguous thing in every person's life. But now if something happens, it's like boom, 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 this is what he did, and blah, and this is how I responded, and the girls are like, okay, you should report it, and this is how you report it, and this is how I reported it, and this is how it worked out. So it's there's a lot of criticism for Me Too that women are using it for anger, whatever the criticism. Maybe there is some truth to it, but just like with any other movement, it's not perfect. But I cannot tell you, well, I can tell you because I'm telling you now, but the amount of freedom and confidence it gave to women to speak up to oneself, to your friends, and to the authority. Absolutely fantastical freedom comparing to before, and confidence, and way less shame, way less embarrassment, way less taking responsibility for someone else's abuse, way less of that. So it's I'm really happy. I'm really happy with the current outcomes, and I think I think moving forward, it's gonna get even better for women. And just one more thing before, a lot of men are afraid that now they're gonna get accused for everything, like accidental touch, accidental look, accidental word, and I understand this fear, and I think it's legitimate for men who don't know how other men abuse. Men that get reported, I can tell you right now from my personal history, never do it once and never do it by accident. It's I can give you one recent example. My friend told me about this guy at her work, and he's like, someone reported him, and then she's like, but he's been this way for, I don't know, months or years with multiple women. And finally someone reported him, and from the outside, from someone who doesn't know, like all the women know at the workplace what kind of a man he is, and finally someone reported him when he actually like crossed a serious line. And probably, I don't know the details, but probably the men at the workplace are like, oh no, it's coming here, what if I'm accused of something? Trust me, very very few men that cross all the wrong lines get accused, but when they do, 99.999%, it's a legitimate complaint. So and another thing, if you're really worried and you're not sure how to behave and you're afraid, you can, and you work with some women, you can literally come up to them and say, look, I know what's going on, the Me Too movement, I'm trying to understand it. Is there something that I say that makes you uncomfortable, or do I ever do anything? Or is there a way maybe for you, if somehow accidentally I cross a line, can you please let me know so I have better boundaries? It's a very simple conversation. You don't need to make a big deal out of it. Just say like, look, I'm aware, I don't fully understand it, I want to get better, and I want you to be comfortable, so please share if there is a boundary that I've ever crossed, or please share if there is a boundary that you have that you'd like respected. It's a very easy conversation. Every woman will appreciate it, and it's gonna make your life easier, and it's gonna put you at ease, and you don't need to be nervous and stressed out about something that most likely isn't even a problem for you. It is a real problem for people who it's a real problem for. So yeah, hashtag Me Too. Good job, guys. Good job, world, women and men.